Welcome to That'll Do It. Your go-to MMA prep show is here to arm you with the sharpest stats and most relevant insights before you lock in your bets or build those DFS lineups.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I am your host, Monk. And in this episode, we're diving deep into the numbers for 3 key fights at UFC Mexico City.
You boys like Mexico? Yeah!
First up, we have Edgar Chairez taking on Vergara.
That's combat.
Followed by Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales.
With me.
And finally, half of the Brady Bags podcast, yes, that is a real thing, Joepyfer will be taking on noted torta enthusiast Kelvin Gastelum.
It's a sandwich. 2 pieces of bread and some meat. I don't need it.
Want even more data? Whether you prefer a comprehensive stat sheet, in-depth video breakdowns for all 13 fights, or detailed statistical write-ups, I've got you covered. Head on over to patreon.com/monkmatics and choose your ideal stat delivery system. Save $5 and get all 3 for just $14.99 a month. Now, let's get into the numbers for UFC Mexico City. Wait. I almost forgot the most important part.
Showtime. We're gonna go nuts in there.
And the flyweight division, Edgar Chairez taking on Vergara, noted track star Vergara.
He's the best killer.
Also notably terrible defense from pretty much both of these guys. The striking defense is dog shit. Absolute dog shit from both. Takedown defense is awful. CJ has decent control defense, and that's about it. He's good like control, clinch defense, and ground strike defense. So if that's what you got going for you, you are very susceptible to getting punched in your face. So, and Edgar Chairez is not much better. Good body striking defense, but maybe he's just fought opponents that don't throw to the body. We'll have to check.
I don't know how to work the body.
Good, decent inside the clinch. Eats leg kicks like basically nobody else in the UFC. A ton of leg kicking volume absorbed by him. No takedowns, no control, no clinch. Terrible inside the distance from Edgar Chairez. Just really, really bad. And the leg striking offense and distance striking offense being so good will back that up. He loves to fight at distance. Both guys' strength of schedule very, very poor, but they've lost to some decent guys, it looks like. There are no comps statistically. Actually, Vergara beat Bruno Correa. I believe that was his Dana White Contender Series fight. And that guy had similar control stats to Edgar Chairez, who is a minus 325 favorite. So, someone with these defensive numbers against someone with these offensive numbers is a minus fucking 325 favorite. Interesting. That is extremely wide. What do we got here? Well, Chairez is 1-3 in the UFC with 1 no contest. Lost to Van, that's excusable. Lost to Tyra, that's excusable. Lost to Clayton Carpenter, that's excusable. So yeah, his strength of victory is very, very good. Beat Daniel Lacerda in the rematch. Subbed him in 2 minutes. So yeah, you landed almost 4 strikes a minute in 2 minutes. Meanwhile, Vergara 3-3 in his last 6, 4-4 in his UFC career, losing to Temirov, who outstruck him and made him run around the entire octagon. Lost to Almabayev, who out-wrestled him. Lost to Tyra. Lost to Osborne. Yeah, so he's losing to wrestlers. He's losing to strikers. He's losing to when he wins, he's throwing tremendous volume. Vinicius Salvador, 7 strikes a minute. Daniel Lacerda, 9 strikes a minute. When he's losing, it's 2. It's less than 2. 1.9, 2.0, almost 5 in a win. He did land 6 against Ode Osborne, who attempted 7 takedowns. That's probably why. Yeah, but if he's losing, he's generally not doing much of anything. In his losing efforts, we're seeing no takedowns attempted. Actually, in any fight. Has he ever attempted a takedown? Vergara never attempted a takedown. What's his takedown offense? 0. How did I miss that? Jesus fucking Christ. So he is decent in the clinch, but no takedowns to speak of. So the takedown defense, 33% for Edgar Chairez, probably not going to be a worry for him. This is going to be a striking battle, guys. They have no takedowns, no control. It's going to be a striking battle. Both guys love to work from distance. I'd say Vergara is better in the clinch, but he's also much more hittable. What's his chindex? 1.29, and Edgar Chairez has yet to be knocked down. So that's the big difference there. Vergara cannot take a shot, especially in the first round. All of his knockdowns, let's go over them super quick. He got knocked down 3 times by Temirov. That's probably what it is. Twice by Lacerda, and he won that fight. And that's it. So he's been knocked down 5 times by 2 guys in the UFC, all of which were in round number 1. That is crazy. So as you can see, defensive numbers in round 1 are abysmal.
I didn't ask for that.
6th percentile in striking, 26th in takedowns, and 13th percentile in control time defense. They do get better, especially the striking in round 2.
We got better.
But that's about it. Striking goes back down. Defense control time stays where it is, which is below average. He allows 6 strikes a minute in the first, 3.3 in the second, and 3.6 in the third. I mean, over a takedown, just under a takedown in the second, and over a minute of control time on average, 1.2 in all 3 rounds. Again, we're not going to see that from Edgar Chairez here. This is going to be a striking battle. The accuracy is much better from Vergara, 50%, 61 and 56. And this is with 4 strikes, 6.3 landed and 5.8 landed. So that is extremely good volume.
Oh, yeah.
And very good accuracy from CJ Vergara if he gets out of the first round, which kind of is a problem. Meanwhile, Chairez, not quite as good. Under 50%, under 43%, and under 41%. The accuracy gets worse and worse. And so does the volume. 4.4, 3, and 2.4. Yikes.
What the fuck happened?
So, if Vergara cannot get knocked out in the first, I honestly think he has a decent chance at this one. That's crazy to say. His first round numbers are dog shit, but in the second and third, they get much better, especially the defense, which isn't saying much, but still, Chairez falls off a cliff. 4 strikes, 3 strikes, and 2.5. Like we said, the accuracy is terrible. There is no power except for in the first round. Who did he knock down? Probably Lacerda? No, he knocked down Tatsuro Taira before he got beat up. So both these guys have knockdowns and have lost the fight. That's, golly, I love low-level MMA. It's fantastic.
Are you sure?
All opponents score well for the most part against Vergara, and no one really scores well against Chairez. Edgar is 1-time optimal in his 1 win, and he has put someone optimal in 1 of his 2 losses. Meanwhile, Vergara, lots of optimals, 4 of 7 fights, 2 and 3 wins, and his opponents are optimal in 2 of 4 losses. Yeah, here we go. When Edgar loses, his opponents score 99.35 on average, and when CJ loses, his opponents score 105.92. And if you take out the high and the low, which is 130 and 69, his opponents average 112.47 per loss. Yeah, put Edgar Chairez in your lineup, guys, just because of that. Just because of that. What's his salary going to be? Obviously, we don't know. I want to see the betting odds because I forgot. Minus 325, he's going to be over 9K. Get him in your lineup. 93 points per win is the exact average for the flyweight division. Wow. He's under 13% or 13% under in finish wins, and we do not have a decision win. Meanwhile, Vergara, 101.7 when he wins, well above the average in finish wins, but decision wins well below at 78 points. That's 5% under 82, which is the flyweight average. Chairez, 9 points a minute, then 4, then 4. Again, falls off a cliff. Vergara, 10, up to 12, and then 8. So while there is some fall off for Vergara, it comes much later, and it's, much less. But there is always that chance that he gets starched in the first round and scores 1.6 points, or goes all 15 minutes, scores 19 points. But again, that was a wrestler against Asu Almabayev. We are not expecting takedowns here. But in his wins, 73, 111 against Lacerda, 83, 139. This guy's all over the place. This would have been a Dana White Contender Series fight. What's Chairez given up per loss? Where is it? 113, 99, and 85. So, yeah. Big GPP fight here. There's going to be a ton of striking. I think Chairez has the much better chance of finishing since Vergara is so hittable and knockout prone as well. So give me Chairez, probably inside the distance. First round would be very nice. He would pay off that salary, and Vergara, again, has no defense and has been knocked down a ton of times in round number 1. Yeah, 5 total. That's what we said. I was questioning myself, but there's no reason for that. But you got to play CJ Vergara too because Chairez has awful, awful defense as well. And Vergara does have 2 KO victories out of his 4 wins in the UFC. So give me Chairez early, but play both sides. Huge GPP fight here. I'm probably not touching this one in cash either. It's just too risky. The salaries are going to be far too wide, and neither guy is probably very good. So yeah, give me Chairez, but I would not be surprised if Vergara would win by decision. So yeah, it's going to be Chairez early, or Vergara will turn it around in the second and then win the third round as well. So Chairez early is the pick, but Vergara decision is definitely a possibility. And at his salary, that might actually pay off.
Right?
All right, next fight. Chihuihuis. Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Vince Morales. There's only one thing I want to look at, guys. Submission defense.
Okay!
Takedown defense from Morales. What else? Because we have very good takedown offense from Raul Rosas Jr., which you don't always see with submission guys. Occasionally, you'll see guys like Paul Craig, who only go for submissions, and they try to take you down. They do this 3/4 takedown. They try to get on their back. They're just pulling guard, all kinds of nonsense. So it's very nice to see a submission guy with good takedowns as well. Control is very good from Rosas Jr., submission offense and reversals. That's what I'm looking at. Okay. Control defense is very good for Morales. Submission defense is poor. Reversal defense is poor as well. The strength of schedule, though, 84 for Vince Morales, who has fought 11 times in the UFC / Dana White Contender Series. I don't think, does he have a DWCS fight? Well, it only goes back 10, so he might. But yeah, very good strength of schedule there and very poor for Raul Rosas Jr. So are these numbers a function of the strength of schedule or a function of actual talent? Vince Morales offensively, I mean, dog shit.
You're fucking dog shit!
What does this guy do? 3.8 strikes a minute. That must be it, because there's no takedowns, clinches, ground striking, leg striking, control. There's nothing inside the distance that's notable at all. Raul Rosas Jr. has 2 comps to the striking statistically of Vince Morales. Ricky Turcios and Jay Perrin both have similar striking styles to Vince Morales, according to the stats, and Raul Rosas Jr. Finished both of those guys in an average of 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Morales has faced someone with the same striking pedigree statistically as Raul Rosas Jr., and that was Miles Johns, and he lost that fight. Let's see. Rosas currently minus 285. That is going to be some good value, I think, if he can get a win. Vince is 2-6 versus younger fighter. I mean, he's 3-8 in the UFC. How is this guy getting a UFC fight? I don't know. Rosas, as you would expect, there ain't much striking. There is no volume. The accuracy is okay. The accuracy is okay. 56% in the first, but then it swan dives into 32% and 40% in the third. Also his lowest volume rounds as well at 1.27 and 1.47, but that's not what we're looking for. That's not why we're playing Raul Rosas Jr. in DraftKings. We want the 2 takedowns in the first round and 3.7 minutes of control time. 0.86 and 1.9 in the second, and 0.67 and back up to just under 3 minutes of control time in round number 3. I love it. He's also been out-controlled. Raul gets controlled a lot too. 1.36 on average in the second and 1.31 in the third. But as a submission guy, you're really not too worried about that. The power index is there. He has landed a knockdown in the first round. Has never been knocked down, so we do like to see that. The defensive numbers are fantastic, but again, is that a function of a poor strength of schedule? Or is he really good defensively? Also, it should be noted that round 3 is his worst round statistically for defense. So if Vince Morales can somehow last that long, not get subbed, then third round is what we are looking at for him. Has he ever been subbed? I know the answer is yes. 2 times professionally, once in the UFC. Has it been in the last 10 fights? It has to have been, right? Probability-wise? No, apparently it was his very first fight, and I don't know who that was against on this sheet because I only go back 10 fights. But if he lost his debut by sub, then it is what it is. 3.8 strikes a minute, 2.9 and 4.83. Fantastic numbers for Vince Morales. You know, nothing crazy, but the 4.83 in round 3 is very good, is very promising as far as striking cardio goes. Control time is non-existent in the first and under half a minute in the second and third. Meanwhile, his defense is a bit worrisome, allowing 4.5 strikes a minute, 3.89 and 4.5, getting outstruck in rounds 1 and 2. And then the control time and takedowns are also a factor in rounds 2 and 3 as well. That's going to be put to the test on Saturday against Raul Rosas Jr., that's for sure. Vince Morales' accuracy is dog shit. 41%, 35, and 34.8.
Where's the rest? Yeah, where's the rest?
Those are some of the worst numbers I've seen in quite a long time. Power index, though, just in the first round. He has to have been knocked down. Yeah, in the second round, he's been knocked down. So we are only really seeing striking out of Vince Morales. In the second, he does land half a takedown on average and half a minute of control time. But other than that, I mean, these numbers are really bad. It's only striking, and even that number offensively really goes down after round number 1. 77 and then 25 and 52. It's because of the accuracy overall. It's because of the volume, and it's because of the lack of power. That's about it. Meanwhile, his defense is okay in the first, does not get any better in the second or the third round. Rosas Jr., I mean, let's see. Decision against Orichi Lang, sub, KO against Terrence Mitchell, joepyfer, and these are some really bad names. Mondo Gutierrez. Vince Morales, that loss to Elijah Smith was very close, but he got beat up a little bit too much for my liking. 3 of 4 takedowns landed on him, almost 3 minutes of control time, and almost 3 strikes per minute. Lost to Lapulus, lost to Miles John, lost to Martinez. I mean, he's only beating Smoko Rodriguez. The Ayman Zahabi win has aged very well, but I mean, he's fighting decent competition, but Taylor's good, Miles and Jonathan Martinez all very solid. So he's fighting much better competition, obviously, but he's been around for much longer as well. There is a 14-year age gap here.
Damn!
Let's go into the trends real quick for that. Oh, geez, I scroll. Oh, geez. Oh, geez, Rick.
Oh, geez, Rick.
Has not happened at bantamweight in 12 months. 1-1 in the past 5 years and 3-2 in bantamweight with a 14-year age gap. So interesting there. How do these guys score in DraftKings? Raul Rosas scores very well. Vince Morales does not. And he does give up a ton of points. Or no, actually, he does not allow a ton of points when he loses. Let's see here. No times in 4 losses since 2021 has he put his opponent optimal, and he's only made it once. Meanwhile, Rosas 2 times in his last 4 wins and did not put C-Rod optimal. 108 is what Rosas puts up per win, 16% above the average at bantamweight. And finish win, it's 10% above the average, and decision win, it's also 16% above the average at 95 points. Meanwhile, Morales, -17, +5 in a finish, but how often does that happen? And 26%. When he wins by decision, he's scoring 61 points, 26% below the bantamweight average. So, yeah, there's a one clear upside person here.
These fucking wrestlers keep coming in.
And we're not even getting great salary on Morales. He is not even... I mean, Rosas isn't even a -300 favorite. He might be by the time this video comes out tomorrow when they release DraftKings salaries. He could easily be -300, but, you know, he's not going to be the lowest salaried fighter on the card by any means. Round by round, it's early and often for Rosas Jr., not so much in the second or third. Meanwhile, Morales much more consistent, but there's not much there at 10 points a minute, or 10 points in the round, 8.5, and then 9 points in round 3. Rosas in decisions, not great. 86, is that his only decision? 103 in a DWCS fight. Submission, you know, subs is where that's his bread and butter, baby.
Yeah, that's it, ticket.
111, 132 against Mitchell, who's terrible. joepyfer 106. Again, he's not fighting good competition, guys. Vince Morales, I don't know that he's good competition, but he's definitely there, and he's very difficult to put away. Decision. All 4 of his last 4 losses are decisions. Gutierrez KO'd him, and even Song didn't get it done. All of his losses in his past 10, which is 7, he's only been finished once. So he's going to have to get choked out by Rosas Jr. He's obviously not going to get KO'd by Rosas Jr. I would be very surprised. But as I said at the top, Morales has been subbed twice in his career, so there is that. Look, that's about all we have. I mean, I've gone on for 9 minutes or so on this one. It's Rosas Jr. for me. That's the pick. It's by submission, probably in round 1 or 2, I would say. I think it's very possible. How many times has Morales been finished in the first round? None, but 3 times in the second. There we go. Never been finished in the first, 3 finishes in the second. In fact, all 3 of his pro finishes have come in the second. Finish losses, I should say. So, yeah, give me Raul Rosas Jr. submission, round number 2. I'll play a little bit of Morales, but outside of a punt GPP, like low-end GPP play that you're playing just for salary relief, I really don't see it. He's not Christian Rodriguez, so I think Rosas has got this one done here. And if he gets it done early, he tends to score it well, so not overthinking it. Give me Rosas Jr., and we've seen all the reasons why.
So
joepyfer taking on Kelvin Gastelum. This is the re-record because, of course, if you didn't see, I was muted yesterday for the entire thing. Didn't realize it until I was editing it very late at night. And boy, oh boy, that is a frustrating feeling when you're about to go to bed. So here's the re-recording.
You yourself admitted yourself that you suck.
That's true.
For Pyfer Gastelum. And thank goodness I didn't... fuck up any other fights, because that is so frustrating when you do it yourself. Operator error. It's just terrible. But here we go. Joe Pyfer, decent numbers. Striking offense, body striking, distance striking, head striking, all pretty good. Takedown offense leaves a little bit to be desired for sure, landing about half a takedown per 5 minutes. Control, leg striking, ground, and clinch are all way below average, especially control, ground, and clinch. Those all work together, probably with takedowns a little bit as well. So we're seeing some very good striking numbers here from Pyfer, a little bit of submission number as well. But the main one that I'm looking at here, guys, is the strength of schedule. It is bad. And we'll look at who he's fighting, because they have a combined record of 39-42 in the UFC and Dana White Contender Series, so not good.
So sad.
Defensively, numbers look great. Takedown defense, control defense, body, clinch, ground, all of those very, very good, especially when it comes to control and takedown defense. Striking defense is also very good. His two major categories in which he lacks defensively are leg striking defense and distance striking defense, which that is where Kelvin Gastelum likes to be, in at distance, throwing leg kicks, doing that kind of stuff. So his strength of schedule, nowhere near 26, as he's fought the best of the best at the middleweight division for years upon years at this point. That said, he is not old, 33 years old. He's not burnt out. He's not fight old. I don't know, man. These odds here, when I recorded this for the first time, Sunday evening, at like 3 p.m. is when I checked the odds. Pyfer was minus 425. In what world is this dude minus 425? Let's look at who they fought first of all.
I didn't fucking do that!
Gastelum, D-Rod. That's probably the worst name he's fought in his last fucking 8 fights. And it's not a bad name. Sean Brady, Chris Curtis, Jared Cannonier, Robert Whitaker, Jack Hermanson, Darren Till, Israel Adesanya, Jacare Souza, and Joe Pyfer. We've got Marc-Andre Barrio, Abdul Razak Al Hassan, Alan Amadovsky, Ozzy Diaz, Dustin Stoltzfus. He lost that Stoltzfus fight, so it's just ugly, man. It's no comparison. Gastelum's fighting the best of the best, and Pyfer is fighting Alan Amadovsky.
No, I'm honestly done. I don't want to read anymore.
They both lost to Jack Hermanson. I mean, Gastelum got subbed, so Gastelum got finished, so Pyfer's better. Be quiet. Go back and watch that Hermanson fight. I mean, outside of the first 6 minutes, Joe Pyfer didn't do a
goddamn thing.
Hermanson took over, realized he was done, and then just played with his food for 25 minutes, did whatever he wanted, and just won 3 or 4 rounds easily. So easily after Joe Pyfer just completely tanked after that first round. What does he throw? 3.65 strikes a minute in the first, 5 in the second, and 4 strikes a minute in the third. He does land takedowns in just under a minute of control time in the first. Those numbers go down in the second and then become non-existent in the third. Now, he does only have 1 third round, and that was against the aforementioned Jack Hermanson. 4 strikes a minute, but again, he's not landing or any takedowns or control time, but he is shooting. He's shooting at double the rate that he was in round 1, probably because he's extremely tired, probably because he has no energy to do much else, and he's just tired of getting hit, to be quite honest. So the takedown rate goes up. It goes up even higher in the 4th. He didn't do shit in that 5th round, so that's exactly what it was. Panic wrestling in the 3rd and 4th rounds there against Hermanson. But yeah, the striking score is very good for Pyfer in the first. It's because he has all that power in the first. He's got great power in the second as well. None in the third, at least that we've seen so far. But the accuracy, guys, is really bad. 45% in round 1, 41 in round 2, 30%.
Sitting at about 30%.
In round 3. That is terrible. So if he's not going to finish Kelvin Gastelum, probably by KO, right? Like, he does have subs on his record. He's got 3 subs out of 12 finishes, but 9 of his finishes are KOs. Kelvin Gastelum's never been finished.
Wrong.
And now Joe Pyfer is going to come in here and get it done via knockout over Kelvin Gastelum. I'm just not seeing it. I don't see how he wins a decision. I don't see how this is minus 425. Could he sub him? Sure. Kelvin's been subbed, what, 3 times in his pro career? 3 times in the UFC, I should say. You know, 1 against Sean Brady. Did we even... I think we talked about that. Maybe we didn't. I don't know. It's hard to tell because I've recorded this twice.
So much more fun.
Sean Brady subbed him. And who was the other one? Jack Hermanson. Yeah, in like a minute. But yeah, the round-by-round numbers, I just don't see it from Pyfer. Unless he's going to get an early KO or a club and sub type scenario, which I guess could happen over Gastelum. I mean, what is he going to do? Gastelum allows 2.7 strikes a minute in the first, 3.9 in the second, 3.8 in the third, allows half a takedown, less than a minute of control time, and those numbers get better as the fight goes on, guys. He's not allowing more takedowns, more control time. He's allowing less. The striking stays about the same.
That's a big fucking lie.
2.7, actually, that's not true. 4 strikes a minute absorbed in the second, and then just under 4 strikes in the third. Takedown defense is very good, though. 59%, 58%, and 58%. The striking accuracy is even worse than Pyfer's, though. 48, 41 in the second, and 41 in the third. Kelvin has scored knockdowns in the first, second, and third, mostly in the first round, though, with an 81 significant striking score. So, yeah, his offensive numbers are not the best, because that's what he does. He kind of just sits at distance. He'll shoot takedowns. He'll land takedowns. He'll get a little control time, but he's not the most volumetric fighter at middleweight by any means. So let's see what these guys are scoring. Yeah, he doesn't score well when he wins, Kelvin Gastelum. His opponents don't really score well when he loses either. Pyfer has been optimal in 3 times out of his 4 UFC fights since 2021, and his opponent, Jack Hermansson, did make the optimal in that one. Kelvin, 2 times optimal in 3 wins, and his opponent the same, twice optimal in his 3 losses. Joe is scoring 101.5 points per win. That is 7% over the middleweight average in the UFC. All those are finish wins, so if you compare that to the middleweight finish average, it is actually 3% less than 104.5, and we have no decision wins to look at. When he has lost, he put up 26 on average, 13 in a finish loss, and 38.9 in a decision loss. Meanwhile, Kelvin, what do you expect? Not really good. We know the stats. We just said that he wasn't the most volumetric guy. He scores 90 points per win, which is 6% under. But when he finishes fighters, he is actually 3% over the middleweight average. And in decisions, he's about average at 78 points. What's he scoring? 13 in the first, 9 in the second, and almost 10 in the third. So usually we see a pretty good drop-off here between rounds 1, 2, and 3. We see one between round 1 and 2. But in round 3, he stays consistent, landing 26% of his points there. Meanwhile, Joe Pyfer, very front-loaded, 13.5 points in the first, less than 5 in the second, and 1.1 in the third. So Joe Pyfer should be in the 9Ks this week, and I don't know how you're paying that. Unless you think he's going to KO Kelvin Gastelum, which I really don't see.
Hit him with a fucking Lincoln, right?
I don't know how he scores well. Like, what's he going to do? If he takes down Kelvin, is he just going to ground him? Like, I just don't get it. His ground striking offense isn't great. Like we said, inside the distance stuff is not good for Joe Pyfer when it comes to DraftKings or when it comes to overall offensive output. And again, these defensive numbers are going to be tested. We already saw his cardio fall off a fucking cliff in that Jack Hermansson fight. Then he comes back and fights MAB, beats him in a minute 25. So we're not seeing any of that. You know what I mean? Like 7 minutes against Al Hassan. Al Hassan, what did he do? He landed 11 strikes on him, no takedown shot, and 8 seconds of control time in 7 minutes.
I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing.
So his longest fight other than the Hermansson fight went 7 minutes, and his opponent didn't fucking do anything.
No shit.
So yeah, if Kelvin Gastelum, he's not just going to stand there and do nothing. Again, he's not going to throw the whole kitchen sink at you, but he is going to be consistent, and he is extremely durable, never been KO'd. When's the last time he even got knocked down? As I'm just scrolling all over the place. Jared Cannonier, sure, guy hits like a fucking truck.
This guy, he hit like truck, you know, like.
And before that, it was Izzy 4 times. But you're gonna say 4 times? That's great. That was an insane fight. Just go. One of the greatest middleweight fights ever, probably. So good. So yeah, that's excused. But yeah, other than the Cannonier fight, he hasn't been knocked down since Izzy. And who's Pyfer knocking down? He didn't knock down Al Hassan. He got the sub there. He didn't knock down Hermansson. He knocked down Barrio and Amadovsky. He didn't even knock down Mearshart. Knocked down Ozzy Diaz. So, yeah, is he going to knock down Kelvin Gastelum? I really don't think so, man. That 425, and this is the point I made yesterday. I was going kind of crazy in the video while I was muted, literally screaming into the abyss. How is this guy fucking minus 425 against Kelvin Gastelum? He's not shot. He's not too old. He's still out here fighting the best and getting wins. How is this dude that looked like absolute dog shit with no cardio against Jack Hermansson minus 425? Well, I looked today, right before I recorded this, and he's now minus 275, guys. He's dropped 150 fucking points. Money is pouring in on Kelvin Gastelum. Who's laying minus 425 on Joe Pyfer against Kelvin Gastelum? That's my question.
I told you they'd come to parlay.
Just like the people that were parlaying Guram Kutataladze last week, I got a bridge to sell you. If you're parlaying Joe Pyfer this week, come and get me. I got some real estate for sure. Upper West Side. You're going to love it. I think Gastelum's going to win by decision. That's my pick. I mean, there's nothing that tells me, unless it would have to be a knockdown and club and sub type situation. That's how I'm seeing Pyfer get a win. Because Kelvin can be knocked down. He is a bit chinny. Still durable. He doesn't get knocked out. He doesn't get finished. He gets knocked down and he pops back up, or he pulls guard. He stays in the fight. But he also gets submitted. So club and sub for Pyfer, sure. GPPs, absolutely. But if he's going to be 9K, I'm not betting. I'm not playing a ton of him. I'm not just going to pray for a club and sub scenario. So if I'm putting minus 425 or even minus 275 on it. So yeah, that's crazy. This line is wide as fuck. Give me Kelvin Gastelum. Huge upset pick at this point.
My dogs are barking today.
Gastelum might be plus 170 by the end of the week. Who knows? So yeah, give me Gastelum by decision. I just don't see how Pyfer's going to do it, man. I'd be extremely impressed if he hands Kelvin Gastelum his first KO loss of his entire career. I would be very, very impressed with that. So outside of a club and sub, I don't know how Pyfer does it. He does do a podcast and train with Sean Brady, so maybe he taught him something about a little one-armed rear naked choke or something like that. But outside of that, I don't give him much chance. He looked like such dog shit in that Jack Hermanson fight. How could you lay this kind of money on this guy? Give me Kelvin Gastelum to get it done. Unless something happened to him that I don't know about, I just don't see how the line looks like this. I don't understand.
Let me get this straight.
That wraps up the YouTube edition of That'll Do It.
Yeah, that'll do it.
For UFC Mexico City. For in-depth statistical breakdowns on all 13 fights, head on over to patreon.com/monkmaddox right now and see what's waiting for you. Best of luck this week, and as always, I want all of you to enjoy the fight, so enjoy. We will see you in the next one.
I love this stuff. Only come here if you like that stuff.